I want to talk about clipping and distortion. So this is essentially like a part two of the gain and level video that we did. But I want to talk about distortion and clipping because it's kind of an important thing for you to know so you can watch out for it. So clipping is basically when you push a signal past its limits. So pretty much everything coming into your board, every channel has kind of a ceiling. So pushing like the volume or the gain too much on something like somebody's voice, for example, it's going to cause that signal to clip. And the reason that it's called clipping is because when it hits its ceiling, the sound wave actually changes shape. And so it's forced to because, like I said, it hit a ceiling. So this is like when you see something going way in the red. It's probably really close to clipping. Like there's some times where things are going to be a little bit in the red. You don't have to, you got to keep an eye on it, but it's not necessarily a bad thing yet. But clipping is when it's, you're way in the red, and all of a sudden, like, it starts to change the way that it sounds because it's actually changing the shape of the waveform. And this is distortion. So distortion is when the technical explanation of it is when harmonics or unwanted sounds are added onto a sound because it's changing shape. But all that means for you is that you're going to get all these extra sounds and frequencies that you don't want because it's adding them in because you're pushing it too far. So basically this is more for, as an example, to watch the levels of your gain that you're using. Watch how much, because like we said, gain is meant to be something that gets the input and gets the signal to a level where it's audible. It's not meant to be a volume knob. So if you're pushing that too much, you're getting too much signal, and you're going to start hearing all these extra sounds, specifically on, you'll hear it mostly on voices, but it happens with instruments too, where you start to get that sound where you almost can't hear because you've got all this fuzz and these cracking kind of sounds going on, and it's just a really bad thing that you don't want to do. And this being live is a little bit different than if it were in studio, but essentially if you've got audio that is distorted, there is nothing you can do to go back and change that. So you have to be really careful because luckily in live you're doing it as you go, so you can make a change to it. But essentially watch your gain, watch your volume, and be sure that you're not pushing something too far in the red, because if you push it too far, then it's going to clip and it's going to come out sounding terrible. So